Welcome to At the Table. And today we are discussing one of our things that we love to discuss and is part of our wheel of life is the environment. And we're going to be looking at how what we can take actually from businesses and how they're using psychology of the environment to implement our buying and to create certain atmospheres to make us have a certain experience and how we can implement that in our own lives.
Yeah, I feel like you and I talk about this all the time because we're always surrounded by our environment, right? And it has such a big effect on our mental state. And then from that, also, I think our physical state as well.
Yeah. Well, I remember there's two things that have really influenced me on it because I feel like your environment's always around, so you don't think about it. Like
Mm.
we're not like our environment. But there's two things. So there's a psychologist, Kurt Lewin, and he once said that your behavior is your like who you are plus your environment is what creates your behavior. And
Who you
then
plus your environment.
is what is
Okay.
going to dictate your behavior. So you have like obviously your personality and stuff, but like the environment you're in do influence your emotion so much more than we realize, but it's all happening on a subconscious level. And then I remember also a mentor once, and I've held on to this since I've heard it, and it was like clutter on the inside, clutter on the outside, and it's like your environment is also a reflection of your like. Not only does your environment influence you and can like influence your behavior and your emotions, but like your environment that you're living in every day is also a reflection of your state of mind.
Yeah, I like and I'll still get like this, but it's not as bad as when I was in school because you have, like, when you're in school, you have so much going on and your priorities are just like study and survive. So like my apartment would get messy and then until I had time to catch up and like put clothes away and everything. But I remember back when I was in school, I would come to my apartment obviously to like eat and sleep, but if I had to study and it was messy, I'd be like I got to get out of here. I got to go to the library or like a cafe or something because like the clutter of even just like unfolded laundry like in a basket on my bed was too much for me to have my like brain and nervous system calm enough to actually uptake information.
Yeah. And I will say for like full transparency, I'm a naturally cluttery person. So like I have piles of stuff. I don't love like tidying up. It's like as far as the act of doing it is I find it very annoying. I've hated it my entire life. But I know how much my environment impacts me that it's like one of the things I have to do or I literally like can't. I feel like I become like paralyzed. Like if their house is too messy, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything, and then we have to do like clean.
Mhm.
So because of that, it luckily, and I have a very clean husband. Thank God. I don't think I could ever be with a messy person because like I can't handle other people's messes in the
Right.
house at all. But it really does impact it, and it's not just that. Something else that's like for my own house, I have to have like quietness or it has to
Mhm.
be like ambient noise. I can't have like we have visitors that can't hear well and they turn the TV up or they're playing like there's the TV on and then there's also like somebody's playing a game and if somebody's then like on their phone, oh my gosh, like I can't function.
So, what's interesting is I feel like I've been doing more reading about this specifically, the sound, because they're the people that like have the TV on always or radio on always. And they say it's like it never gives your nervous system the chance to relax and for you to feel safe because of the stimulation of the noise. Your brain is like on alert for like like attacks, even though you're not being attacked by your TV in your house.
But your
So I
brain
find
doesn't know
that
the difference.
yeah, your brain doesn't know the difference. So I find that fascinating. So I've been talking to my husband, like, we need to have more like actual, as quiet as possible spaces.
Didn't you say you and your husband bought noise canceling headphones to like have more
Oh,
quietness?
yes. So we did buy them, but they were like tight on our ears.
Oh no.
So like that sensory part was like uncomfortable. So I'm going to my husband was like, why don't you just wear earplugs? And I was like, I guess we could just wear earplugs. But I was like, well, we can just make our space more quiet too,
Yeah.
just by like
Well, I
other.
grew up in a house that always had, well, one, we were all very loud kids, and then also always TV on. And so when you grow
My
up with
parents
that, it's Yeah, then like as an adult, then I was like, I'm overwhelmed. Like if I have to, like sometimes I'll put a TV on the background for like we don't sit down and watch shows anymore, but I'll put TV on the background and like when I'm cooking. Like right now I'm watching Sex in the City, love, and I'm back to drinking Cosmos because I'm like inspired and they're so good.
Well, yeah.
I always forget and then I'll have one and I'll be like, oh, this is amazing.
Delicious.
Yes, I should never not ever not drink those. But it's interesting that after a couple episodes, I'm like, oh, I have to turn this off right now. But if you are somebody who's used to having that sound on constantly in the background and you talk about that nervous system, what I also found is initially for people, when they make it silent in their house, they become uncomfortable because they actually don't know how to have a calm nervous system.
Yeah. It's like overwhelming for them.
Yeah, so you have to like practice silent time.
So really with our environment, you're catering to your five senses. So your sight, the sound, smells, touch, obviously. I guess first starting with sight, like that's where we were talking about like the clutter. And for me specifically, like so I'm in my office right now and I had very specific visions for how I wanted my office to look and feel. And one of them I remember being like very specific to my husband about, I was like, the lighting has to be calm. And like, because everything now is like the fluorescent LED, aggressive.
So aggressive. I feel
So bad for
assaulted
us.
by that light.
It makes me angry. It gives people
What
headaches.
if people are just more angry and like people are like, oh, people aren't as polite as they used to be? It's because of the lighting, potentially.
Like, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. So I have a whole bunch of lamps in here with like low level light bulbs, um, to create more of a like calm atmosphere. And people will literally walk in and be like, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah, we do in our office natural lighting. Our house too
Yeah.
is a lot of natural lighting just because it's better for the eyes. But there is some interesting with what you said. There's very good psychology behind lighting. So, for example, light influences our mood a ton. So you talked about the fluorescent light. Obviously, it's horrific and makes you angry. And what's funny is like I always grew up in a warmly lit house. So I've always been around warmer lighting.
That's because we grew up in the 90s and early 2000s when there were
Well,
only
thank goodness, right?
incandescent.
Thank goodness. But
Yeah.
now, like, I do immediately notice that bad lighting when I walk into other people's homes or
Ugh.
I go in businesses, and I just like I hate it. And we've always known fluorescent light because fluorescent lighting's been in offices for a long time. We've always known it's not been good. Like we've always known it's been like there's a lot of like information out there on how bad it is for us and how it makes you tired and it messes with your like even like circadian rhythm. But if you go
Mhm.
off of lighting, you can see it in things like a gym, right? So they use lighting where they dim the lights, especially more like specialty gyms. They'll like do dimmer lights, they'll do colored lights, and then like more spotlight things. So they use it so people don't feel so self conscious, but also can focus. And then other places will like,
Think like a spin class.
yeah, they're gonna use. Have you ever noticed they're like tend to be darker in spin classes?
Yeah, it's darker, and then like the instructor is more lit
Yeah,
up.
so that is purposeful to for you to have a very specific experience in that class. And then if you go into luxury hotels, they only have low, like dimmer lighting, softer lighting, and you just feel luxurious with that kind of lighting.
Mhm.
And so in our
Yeah.
houses for our environment, there's a lot of good psychology of like environmental psychology looking at how light affects us and natural light in your home and lamps and low lights. Like turning off the overhead lights, focusing on only having lamps on with a soft light helps our nervous system calm down and puts us in a state where I feel like if you're going to be with your family, like you want to be in this state of connection. And if you want to have like a more luxurious life, like do the lighting like a luxury hotel. It's a very easy way to
Yeah.
implement.
Stop using your track lighting and just buy a ton of lamps.
Yeah. Also, I
Just
think
buy a ton
lamps
of
are
lamps.
such a cute decorating thing.
They're beautiful and they're fun, and you can have like a lot of like expressive creativity with lamps. And then you can control, because I know a lot of like overhead lighting and track lighting now, are those LED bulbs that you can't get an alternative for. They have to be like those like weird plug-in ones. Because I know our kids light bulbs are like that. Um, but lamps, you can change out the light bulbs. You can still get incandescent light bulbs now, and you can get. We just switched out all the light bulbs in our house, Megan.
Did you? That's great.
Carrick, yes, Carrick has been on this like bender for light, and they're like full spectrum bulbs. So
Oh.
during the day they have three settings. They have like a daytime setting, and they have an evening setting, and then a nighttime setting. And the nighttime setting, we love this nighttime setting because it is reminiscent of like a candlelight flame.
Oh.
It doesn't flicker, but it
Yeah.
has that warm glow.
You know what's so funny? We try to eat by candlelight, or I try to light our candles at dinner and meals.
We do that too.
Well, I do it because one, I like it, but I think it's like romantic to have dinner that way. But
Yeah.
also, it's proven to make. There's something about the. I gotta look into. There's this. I forget what I read it a while ago, but it's on like
Does it improve digestion?
it improves how we eat and connection. So like that, I think I
Yeah.
read it in terms of like if people want to connect more with their family and slow down your eating, which is why it would aid with digestion and just connect more with people around the table, having turning off your lights and eating with candlelight does that.
Mhm.
But you know what I also think, like if we're like you're like, oh, do lights real if there's anyone out there's like, oh, does light really matter that much? You know what I think about is always the time of Christmas and why it always feels so like at night and you just have your Christmas tree plugged in, you sit there and having a cup of tea, waiting for bed, it's like you just feel calm, you know?
It's
It's
warm.
so cozy and you just feel like good in life. It's because it's a very gentle light on us. And I think about
Mhm.
that like we have a reading corner and it's like this little light that comes down like this and it's soft. And if it's the only thing on in the evenings, it's so like pleasant. You're just like calm, which is what you'd want in your household and environment.
Yeah, it does more than I think people realize. And I think once you make the change, you'll be like, I could never go back.
Yeah, I agree. And it's the same thing even like in the morning though, like you want to open your windows up and let light in and have brighter lights, not the fluorescent lights, but brighter lights. Like you talked about those different times of day too, because it impacts our circadian rhythm of like getting up and like increasing the proper hormones in the morning. And then in the evening, having the softer light or little like candlelight kind of that is going to help get us in ready for bed and produce proper melatonin too. And so like it actually impacts our hormones, which is fascinating.
Yeah, so what I love about this topic is the your environment obviously impacts your like mood and like mental state and everything like that, but it also is very much linked to your physical health as well. And light has a big play on that too.
Because even like blue light, which coming from our phones, which is why those blue light glasses are big, which I'm not convinced they work. I don't know if they work or not, but
I You have to buy like the higher level ones
I don't,
that are like red.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, we do.
Because I got those and I was like, okay, these work.
Yeah. Oh, do they? Okay. Well, maybe I don't have the best ones for it, but it's interesting because like there's so many studies now showing looking at your phone affects your hormones and how you sleep before bed. But we do red light therapy before bed now, and that red light, I swear, it makes you sleep better having red light. And I know it's like not just the red, but it's like that frequency.
Yes, we also do that.
I think that's one of our favorite things that we have in our house.
We're obsessed with it.
Yeah. I think we've been doing
It's
it
so calming.
2 years now, a year and a half, 2 years, and it's made a significant impact in our health. I still don't get it because I talk about it all the time. I'll be like, I know I feel great with this, but like it's so weird to think that this is penetrating deeper.
It's the wavelengths. I think it's hard to grasp because obviously you cannot see like
Wait,
wavelength, like
yeah,
radio or anything like that. But they do penetrate, like X-rays, they penetrate through your
yeah,
body. You can see
yeah.
inside.
That's why
So,
also on a side note, just to be, put this out there because I'm sure the world feels the same way. That's why when people are like putting the data, like if you live near a data center that's going up and people are like talking about like how they're not feeling good, and then like people who own the data centers are like, oh, there's no negative effects. It literally is sending out so much sound and wavelengths that it's impacting the community around it very negatively.
well, remember when people used to be like, "Did you grow up under power lines?" Like
Yeah,
back then, we'd be like, "Yeah, there's definitely a like
it impacts. Yeah. So it's so funny when
negative effect
people want
there."
things, how like they just pretend. And in like 10 years, they're going to be like, oh, wow, people who like are next to data centers are like infertile now and like have this. And
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. Anyway, The next thing,
So that's
the next thing
we already kind of talked about sound though
Yeah,
too.
well, sound. So let's go into sound because sound's also interesting on how businesses use that. So it's like elevator music, right? But when you walk in at Christmas, there's certain music that plays, especially if you look at like higher end places because they're going to be curating this a little bit more and paying for people to come in and curate your experience. And sound is one I think people miss a lot and what that's like because your sound impacts your body in every level and even without us realizing it. And I just read this thing where they were like Mozart listening to the classical music actually changes your gut bacteria for the better. So our whole body is
Fascinating.
so impacted by sound. But also when we talked about before this nervous system. And so, if you wake up and you have noise, you play your phone, you turn on the TV and watch the news, and then you go like traffic and
Don't
honking.
do that.
Yeah, don't do those things. But these
Don't start your
these
day
are
like that.
things that like we're like, oh, that's just part of life noise. But if we don't have like a sanctuary from that everyday like bombardment of noise coming at us all the time, it impacts us a lot. Like we need to be able to be in a quiet room comfortably. If you can't be, you have an overactive nervous system. But your noise or ambient noise, it impacts us. Like, for example, Starbucks or coffee places that have done their research, they'll play ambient noise. So it's not like loud, like, music, but it's like this soft background music that actually has been proven to increase creativity. So you can use noise also to move you towards your goals. So there's noise that helps with focus, there's certain noise that helps with creativity, and then there's noise that helps get you ready for bed and relax. And then there's also times where you need no noise.
Yeah. I have obviously like I play music in my office, but I've been for a long time now playing music with no words. So like that lo-fi or like ambient because I think it helps calm people better.
I would agree with that.
Except at Christmas time, I'll play Christmas music
Yeah. We try and play like
because
upbeat, fun music in the office because that's what we're trying to.
your music is very fun in the
We
office.
want people like our goal
To be
is,
happy.
yeah, I want people to leave and be like, okay, that's a happy place to go. Even if I'm going there for
Mhm.
like pain or discomfort, but like at least I'm happy here because I think happiness aids in healing.
For sure.
But even if you do have a business, like, are you just playing your favorite music or are you playing music your customers are going to connect with? Like, one thing that's really interesting is we have a lot of Taylor Swift that plays in our office, and we have a lot of Swifties as patients, and they come in and they go, oh my gosh, how did you know I love her? You're always playing her. And I'm like, all right,
A
great. Like,
lot of
people feel
people
more
love
connected
her.
if you play their favorite artists.
Um, I agree with that. I need to make note because I was just in this airport, so it's like very fresh in my mind. And I used to fly out of this airport all the time. And I feel like you're gonna know what I'm talking about, Megan. A business that has really missed the mark with their music is the Philadelphia airport.
Oh, Philly.
They only play, and I don't know why, they only play music from the 50s and the 60s. And it's not that I dislike that music, but it feels so wrong
In the
in that
airport.
environment. Yes, and especially the Philadelphia airport.
Yeah. I have never
It's like,
noticed that.
why?
That's so interesting.
You've never noticed that?
Usually, like
Every
when we go to
single
the
time I'm
airport,
there.
we zone in. We have like, we do this, and then load. We're very much like, I think we're in the zone. So I don't actually hear the music.
Oh. Okay, next time you fly out of Philly, I can't not hear it when I'm there. I notice it every single
All right,
time I'm
I'm going to
there.
pay attention to this. That is fascinating. I wonder why. I'm going to have to look that up.
I don't know why. Because I've been in a lot of airports and I've never been in another airport that plays specifically, and it's only that
I
music
feel like they should be doing it like background, like Starbucks music in the background,
for sure. Or Philly has so much music,
like
like culture
local.
there.
Hmm.
Play Philadelphia artists.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
why are we playing like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's
It's bad. It's really bad.
That is interesting. Well, because like if you do, it's like okay, like high-end gyms, going back to them. Like let's go, you go to that spin class. They have their lighting. They're also going to play specific high beat music because it makes you
Yeah.
feel like you worked harder. So even if you didn't
Yeah.
work that hard, that
I think it
music,
helps you work
I
harder.
think it does, but it also makes you. It's the perception that you worked really hard
Mm,
is
yeah.
why they play certain
Gets your
music.
heart rate up.
So you're like, yeah, like I was with that beat. And so even if you didn't work that hard, you're going to be perceiving yourself as working harder. And that's what they want, right? So like this music plays such a huge role in your life, and not just music, environmental
Sound.
noise. And so I do think it's time. I think it's important for every household to have like quiet time.
Yes, for sure. I love that. Okay, so sight, sound, smell.
Oh, smells interesting. I think businesses don't think enough about smell.
You know what? The good ones do. And I was gonna say one business, a humongous business that like focuses a lot on smell is Disney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because it's nostalgic.
So in Yeah, well, Disney World, there'll be different, like they have these like machines that pump out specific smells in different parts of the park. So they have specific smells for like the stores, for rides, like near popcorn machines. Like obviously you smell the popcorn they're making, but they also pump out popcorn smell so that you smell it and you're like, I want popcorn.
Yeah. It
It's fascinating.
We use peppermint in our office because it triggers the one, it helps people with migraines, and two, if every time you smell peppermint, you think of us.
Memory, yeah.
Yeah, it ties you to memory. But in your own home, well, actually, just yes, in your own home and your own environment, smells can like if you smell a certain thing every time you are doing like certain work. Let's say you're writing and you're like, I'm going to smell this every time I write. You can then smell and be more motivated to write. So you can use smells for motivation because it's so tied with memory, but you can use it for like pushing yourself towards something in a goal.
Or like your nighttime routine, even if it's just like wash my face, brush my teeth, read a little bit. If you have like a certain scent
Oh yeah.
in your room,
Yeah, or
and then your body knows, okay, it's time to calm down, get ready for bed.
yeah, it'll start triggering that. Yeah, your bedroom could have a certain smell. I will say I'm going to put this on the table because I think it's very important. A lot of people use the plugins.
I hate those.
Don't use that.
So bad for you.
One,
Cancer.
they're all hormone disruptors, so we don't want synthetic scents. What you really want to do is one, make sure your house is very clean because a clean house has a neutral smell. Opening up the windows, burping the house is really good. We love doing that in the fall, spring, and even winter. I think summer is the time we actually have our windows closed the most due to
Same.
yeah, just heat. And our dog and my husband are both winter people, so they do not do well with this right now. But opening up your house, getting good airflow, and making sure everything is clean is ways to have a neutral smell, and then you can implement smells naturally. So like using a lemon spray or a essential oil in a humidifier or a lemon spray. We actually use like thieves in our spray as a house neutralizer as well, just because I like that smell a lot. And so it's like finding out smells you like and then putting it in essential oils and then allowing that to become your smells of your house and your area. And that also will trigger you when you get home to get into a really positive state.
Also, if you love candles, there are really great healthy options. Like there's beeswax. I just found these beeswax candles that I'm obsessed with that burn very clean. And actually, there's research for burning beeswax candles help like neutralize your area.
Everything with like bees are so good.
Yeah, they're like magical creatures.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say, if you like candles, you could burn something like that, and a lot of times you can get like essential oil infused beeswax candles, so you're not burning like parabens
Yeah,
in your
because I think
home.
that's important. But throw away all those like Glad and the Febreze. Don't spray
Febreze,
Febreze in your
don't
house.
mess with
All
that.
of these actually disrupt your nervous system and your endocrine system. And so a little bit at a time, you're like, oh, no big deal. But it does make a huge difference long term in your health. And we want our environment to be feeding our health and moving us towards our goals and the life we want to live. And so, I think if you want a romantic life, you need to create a romantic environment. If you want because like romanticizing your life is a big thing. If you want a softer, like luxurious life, one of the things you can add in is like carpet, like beautiful carpet, not like a floor carpet, but like having soft carpets to
Not
walk
wall to
on.
wall.
Yeah, yeah, not like, but like a centerpiece carpet that's like soft, and then
a beautiful Turkish rug or like
Yeah. And then like the right like couches. Like one of the things I like to do is like I like to lay and read, and I like comfort in my home. And so like every room you go in has like a spot you can lay down and read in, and because that's something I like to do. And so it's like creating these spots that also make you do the hobbies you want to be doing, because it's very easy to be distracted in today's world, right? So if we can create the environment for us to live the life we want to live, you're going to live that life more likely than if you have an environment that is not conducive to it. So if you have an uncomfortable couch but you want everyone to get together and play games on the couch around a table, that's not going to happen because it's not comfortable, right? So these are the things you need to think about. Like I think being really purposeful in creating this environment can literally change your life.
these are it's so funny because these are things I think about all the time. And my husband, it like wasn't even on his radar when we got together. Like when you mentioned the couch he had when we moved in together, I still, when I think of this couch, it makes me angry. I hated it that much. It was one of those like couches where like it was like a three-person couch and like both end seats reclined, so like these things came out, and it was so uncomfortable because the only way you could sit in it was like this or recline back, and you had to sit specifically in the center of the cushion because it had these big metal frames for the working mechanics of the reclining part. And I was like, I hate this couch, Carrick. Like, we need to get rid of it. It makes me so angry every time I have to sit on it. I can't like snuggle or like lay down or like anything on it. And he's like, I like it.
No.
He likes it. And I said, we will never have any reclining furniture in our home ever. I'm so antithetically against it. I was like, if you want to put your feet up, we will get a beautiful ottoman
Oh,
for
I
you.
love a good ottoman.
Yeah. I was like, no, we're not
Yeah.
doing
Well,
this.
I think okay.
The
So
rest of
like
it.
another example would be like my mother-in-law. She loved like the way Frank grew up. Like my husband grew up, they would bond with like watching TV shows together, which is like a very normal family thing to do. And and she has the most uncomfortable couch in the entire world. So when we go out there to visit, she wants to sit around like watch TV together. I think she genuinely loves it, and we're like, yes,
You should buy her a
I
couch.
know. We should just get a new couch when we go out there. But her couch is so uncomfortable. And she's like, why doesn't everyone want to, like sit around? It's like we gotta create comfort for it. But it's like I don't think it's like a normal thing to think about. I think a lot of people are like, this is the couch I have, or we inherited it. There's a lot of things.
No.
But I think it's not just there's two parts to it. One, I do think things need to be aesthetically pleasing. Like we talk about sight. I think you need to have flowers in your house at times. I think you need to have beautiful colors. You need to have artwork. They matter. These soft things in your house matter more than most people realize. Like if you don't have any artwork, I think like you need to find some that invoke an emotion with you, even at a thrift shop. But if you go, wow, that's beautiful, I love looking at it, it will make your life better by having those things, and can reset your nervous system and create really great emotions. And it's like the same with the fabric of even like your bedding. We haven't gotten into the bedroom.
Gosh,
So
fabrics. Don't get me started
so
on
many
fabrics.
fabrics are synthetic. And I will, okay, so
All of them.
recently I just got back from China, and all the stuff that comes over here, we have all this stuff of clothing right now. Like we can get the cheapest clothes, and it's all from like made in China, made in different spots in Asia. And they're
Bangladesh.
all poorly made. And so I was like not knowing what to expect, because we were like, oh, there's great shopping in China. And I was like, I don't want to shop at a place that's going to be like cheap clothing. I was totally wrong. The clothing they're wearing in Shanghai is all natural fibers, and it's affordable. It's linen, it's cotton. But like these fibers have a different they do different things to your body, right? Like I call them like higher vibration fibers. I feel great when I'm
That's
wearing a
proven.
linen dress over wearing a polyester dress. And even designer clothes here in America are all polyester now. Like, why are we paying thousands of dollars for an outfit that's made of plastic? And it impacts how we feel. So, our
I'll
clothes,
tell you why.
what?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, talk to us about it.
Because of the Rockefellers and the oil industry, polyester clothing, the synthetic clothing is made from an oil byproduct. But we don't have to get into that. I would say the synthetic clothing issue is almost uniquely American.
Yes,
We
that was
have
my whole
more
discovery
synthetic
when I was in
clothing
China.
than any other country. Most countries wear natural fibers. You'll see a lot of wool, linen, cotton. Um, Here it's all everyone's wearing plastic literally every day. Almost everything you're wearing is plastic, which is so bad for your health. And like you were saying, you feel better, lighter, higher vibrations in a linen dress. They have done studies that those fabrics, like cotton, linen actually has the highest vibrating
No
frequency.
wonder I love it so
They have
much.
different frequencies.
So the fabric that we have in our homes matter and that we're wearing because that's
Yeah,
part of our environment, the clothes we
they
wear.
do.
So I think like part of it's fast fashion, right? Like we always have to be like buying clothes and shopping. Like we have a shopping problem in America. Amazon's made it very easy. So you can always look in style now when before like you'd have to do a little more work or save up for it now and buy like a
Mhm.
piece. Now like we can get anything. Like right now we could all get a wardrobe tomorrow.
Like the sheen
Yeah.
explosion,
But the
terrible.
side effect of it is it impacts our life. So it's like if you're like, because I know one of the things people might listen and say, like, well, it's not affordable to buy all natural fibers. It is if we actually shop like we used to. So, like, we don't have to have new clothing every week or every month.
Have like 3 pairs of pants
Yeah.
and 5 shirts,
So I've
and that
been
was it.
dedicating more time in the past like year or 2 years probably now where I'm going through my clothes and as I, getting rid of things, it's not 100%, but getting rid of things that are like, that are more polyester, that aren't fitting perfect, all that kind of stuff, and really investing in like this is a cotton dress. It's like even if it's half cotton, like a cotton blend or a linen blend, like having these clothes make you feel better, but they also are lasting longer. So you're
Mhm.
really dedicating more to classic timeless pieces, these beautiful fibers. And then also with that, your bedding needs to be a natural fiber. This is a hill I will die
That's
on.
like a
I
non-negotiable.
it really isn't. Like sheets, you need to read cotton, linen, you could do silk. Um, but ours are all
That's
we
it.
do mainly linen, which you saw. You were at our one
Ours is
house, so it was cotton and linen.
yeah. Ours are usually cotton. I'm not against linen. We just haven't gotten linen sheets.
I just like them because the more they use
And then
them, the
like
more they get worn in.
yeah. And then like in the wintertime you could do like flannel,
Yeah.
which is also like a cotton. Um, it's just
I
like
think it makes
it's
I
just so
think like we did a lot of work to like create a good sleeping environment. It's like the dark curtains, but it's like the natural fibers is a place to start and it makes a huge difference.
now, it will be if you were like, okay, I want to make a step towards moving my clothing and my home into natural fibers. Don't just go and throw out everything that has synthetic in it because you will probably get rid of like 90% plus of your closet. The one thing I would say is your children, nothing but natural
I think
fibers
there's more
because
options for
they're
kids too though. No?
mm, maybe there's not a
I
lot.
should have, you know what? I should have done some shopping for you over there in next time I go to
Oh my
China.
gosh. Oh
I'll
my gosh.
buy a little
Yeah.
get
I
some
need to do that.
outfits. They're all wearing like
Next
linen
time you go.
pants. It's so cute.
Yes. But like I feel very strongly that children should only be wearing natural fibers because their bodies are growing and developing. You don't want to introduce those like pseudo like hormone like disrupting chemicals into their little bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many kids with so many issues already. Like, we don't need to be adding one more thing. I will say one brand that we shop from for a lot of things for my son, Hannah Anderson. They do a lot of organic cotton.
Do you think you can do it affordably? So, for example, one, you're not, like you said, we're not doing this all at once. I've been slowly replacing things over, like, I don't think we're like huge spenders, slowly
It's easier.
replacing things. So now it's like I made the commitment, like, if I buy something, it's going to be of a natural fiber. And so I've
Mhm.
been slowly replacing my closet. And then once I buy something, I get rid of something so I don't have like too much clutter, which has actually been one of the best things because like once you have too many clothes you stop wearing certain ones and I'm like okay if I can have like a certain amount for my winter a certain amount for my summer it's like it's doable it's manageable and you don't have as much clutter but the biggest tip I would say is like you could also go to someplace like TJ Maxx and they will have cotton sheets available so you can get them very affordable. Like it doesn't have to be these like Egyptian hot, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Like start with where you're at.
I think Costco even sells 100% cotton
Of
sheets.
course they do. We love Costco.
Target does too.
Yeah, so they're at the stores. I'm sure Walmart even sells it. You just have to
You just
read the
have to read the
labels.
labels.
And
Mhm.
then I do think saving up for a good, like I have a linen duvet, and it's just like you can save up for it's not wildly expensive. It's still within an affordable range. You can get some from like Quince is a online brand that sells it.
Oh, Quince is great.
Yeah, so you can like get these natural fibers. They do have these places. It's just a little bit of looking. And then even like for clothes, I recently found like Old Navy has dresses that are linen, which is
Cool.
wild because
They have a lot of cotton too.
yeah, they do. So stores are bringing back natural fibers because I think people are wanting them, but there are affordable stores that have it as well as different levels of cost. So it is something that is doable. Other things you can start doing like today is like replacing your light bulbs. Every time one goes out, get a warm light or choose a room and just like replace it. Pick up lamps.
Mhm.
Thrift stores have so many lamps. We did, we try and actually do thrift a lot of stuff because I just think it's more unique and beautiful.
Facebook Marketplace, baby.
Yeah, so you can get a lot of lamps and start to put that. Candlelight is an easy thing to start doing at dinner. And it's so much fun, actually. When you're at the grocery store next time, picking up some flowers, even some like carnations, which are very affordable, it does elevate your room and make you feel like you're like, oh, this is beautiful, and I have this, and I love it. Other things are, making sure like if you need new carpet, or for like in the floor, you're redesigning a room, doing a natural carpet, looking for sales. Like we picked up, was a Pottery Barn was going out of business, and we picked up a ton of carpets that are all natural fibers and put them everywhere.
Cool.
So
So we did sight, sound, smell, and
touches the fibers. It's that luxurious, softer, gentler fibers or things that are softer. Like if your pillows are soft, your couch is soft, your bed, those are going to be that touch that really matter. I think walking on clean floors is very important. We have a
yeah.
border collie mixed dog. They shed. So my husband vacuums every day, all day. But it makes a huge difference. When your floors are clean and you get to walk barefoot on them, like it feels good.
Yeah. 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 It's just a lot of little things, really.
But the environment, the biggest thing to know is like how much the environment impacts our likelihood to move towards our goals. And that could be like fitness goals, or even, I shouldn't say goals, the life that you want to live. We all have this like life we're living and then this idea of what we want to be. And like one of the ways to
Mhm.
fill that gap and to get closer to the life you want to live is to design your space for the person you want to become to live that life. And so, if you want to host, start creating your space so people can visit you. If you're like, I want to have people over more, great, create the space to have people over. And it doesn't matter the size. It's not about the size of your house either or where you live. Like you can create these spaces anywhere. It's just,
Yeah, I mean, or also like in your business, like for us specifically, we want to see a lot of women and kids. So we have dedicated spaces for kids to play, for women to change their babies, for women to nurse. So if you're saying like, I want to see women and children, and you have an office that is not conducive to women and children, you're not going to attract those people.
exactly. And so you can curate your environment to move you towards where you want to be. And also how you want your nerve. If you're like really stressed all the time and you're like, I'm feeling burnt out, it is vital that you have a safe spot created that is what feels really good for you in your own house that you can sort of like escape to.
And it can just be one room to start.
Or even having an hour of silence in your house where you're just going to sit and read in quiet. That can calm that is proven to calm your nervous system.
I love it. This is one of my favorite subjects.
Yeah. So we're going to be working through, we have what's called the Wheel of Life. So if you visit innatewomen.com, we've really worked on identifying different aspects of our life that if we pour into, we're going to have less burnout and more fulfillment. And that's one of the biggest things. We only have one life to live. We might as well live a fulfilled and happy life. And so why not take the steps towards that? And so if you want to check out that Wheel of Life, the environment's just a piece of all of it. But we'll be diving deeper in environment over the next couple of weeks before we move on to one of the next subjects.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us at the table. We've loved having you, and we will be having, just remember the last Thursday of every month, we'll be having a meetup, and you are welcome to join.
We'll see you there.
All right.